So the 16 finally. And this is the professional first time outside. Asian organizations certified professionals. So we will have our own unique American.
Want to go look at the garden? Want to see what's growing? Maybe. Here's one thing that's growing. This is so funny. So this big, beautiful plant here, it's a big, bushy, beautiful flowering plant. It was looking kind of gangly. It's starting to look a little gangly already. Here, see, real long. And I wanted it to bush up. It has bushed up, which I'm happy about. I tossed the things I tore off with my fingernails, just snapped off, into the rocks. And they're growing. I got a little plant there. So funny. Anything will grow. There's not even any soil. I'm not quite sure how this is working. But there's a flower. A bud. Weird. But, whatever. Grow, baby, grow. These are anthuriums. They make a beautiful heart-shaped red flower with a yellow stamen. They have yet to bloom. I don't really know why. This is their season. They're growing well. Like this one's got lots of new leaves coming too. But no flowers as of yet. But eventually we'll get them actually planted in the ground, and maybe that's what they'll need. We'll see. Anyway, let's go look at the garden. Spinach. That could be spinach. Maybe. Those look the same as... Those leaves look like those leaves. Maybe they're just really late. Disappointing. Kale, on the other hand, is taking off. Got a couple of measly Swiss chards. But you never know, maybe we'll get some more. But the kale is doing pretty good. There's still been some cat activity in here, and despite my eggshells. But less so, I think. But yes, I'm happy with the kale progress. Yeah, no spinach on this end either. That might be a spinach. We'll see. But yeah, sad about the spinach. We'll try that again later. Zoe, what do you think? Are you sad about the spinach? Nah. Look at this crazy mess over here. I have to harvest bok choy today. Look at that. It's amazing. There's a couple of beets on this side. There's definitely more beets on that side. But the cauliflower is doing really good. Check out the broccoli. Where do these big, huge leaves come from? So yes, not sad about the progress in this bed. Yeah, I'm going to have to snap off some of these bok choys. Pull up a few to make room for others. Because we could eat some veggies. And they're doing good. But we've got some aphids or something chewing on. You can see there. So I got to get out here with our fungicidal spray and do some work to make sure all of these things are good and edible with as few blemishes as possible. But this bed is going crazy. There's lots of beets on this side. I'm going to have to thin those out. But one less. But yeah, super happy with the bok choy and the broccoli and the cauliflower. That's awesome. I can't believe the bok choy. That is crazy. So each one of these is a little plant. You just chop it up. I don't know how many people eat bok choy, but I'm sure you've seen it. So yeah. Kale, you keep on climbing. Do your thing. Hopefully we'll get some spinach. I don't know what's going on there. I got some screen at the store last night. I might actually cover some of this and just sort of get this out of Susie's mind as a place to go and see if things will start growing. I probably need to replant. I don't know, we'll see. But this is pretty impressive, this bed. This will give us lots of food for a while. So it's not as much of a heartbreak that this is not as strong as we hoped. But yeah, bok choy for the win. It's getting a little more full. We've had a little rain. Getting closer. Our little river there. What's that? It's a duck house. Ha ha ha. It's not done, so don't judge. But it's a duck house. Coming along. It's got little windows. Some of the screen that I bought that I'll also use maybe for protecting that one garden bed is really for these gaps, because I need airflow, but I don't want rain to blow in too much. I mean, we've got this big opening, but the prevailing wind and rain when it comes this way. So this one I need to put a screen on. It'll get some exposure from rain. This one will get occasional rain. Every now and then the winds will shift the other direction and it'll blow that way. And I don't want it to be too wet in there. But I'm not unhappy with the little duck house. So there's some wood. I'm going to build the nesting platform with some, well, those 2x4s are already cut. I've got some more reinforcement to put on here. So the way I did it is that the framing, I built the framing, the vertical framing and the roof. And then I put the siding on, and now the horizontal framing will go on the surface, so sort of sandwich the siding between the vertical and horizontal framing, thereby reducing bowing of the siding, because there's no other wall or studs or anything to prevent any of that. And this siding does like to curl, as you can see. And so, yeah, so vertical there, horizontal here, and it should help to keep a good, solid, stable wall in place. And the external framing will be decorative. So the house will probably be like a cream or a pale gray, I'm not sure. And then the trim will be either a dark brown or a charcoal, because it's going to look, hopefully, a little bit like a tea house. That was the goal. I mean, loosely. In the back here, you can see it looks a little wobbly. There's the bottom framing's already been applied, as the top has as well. But there's a split, because these are the doors. So they're screwed in place just to keep the weather out while the deck house waited for me. Because last night I got hinges and for both sides on the outside, and then a latch for the center, so I can finish up these doors next chance I get. But I am not unhappy with this deck house, I gotta say. I think it looks alright. It needs paint and hinges and a latch. And then I've got more lumber there and more pavers to get. I need to fill this in so it's more even. Put the pavers down so we can stand there and get the eggs when they're done. And also use it that'll be a good, easy way to clean out the duck house. You can see there's gaps at the bottom, so we can rake out, hose out, whatever we need without too much hassle. And yeah, I'm super excited about this duck house. That's what I did on Thanksgiving. So I had the framing done, and the night before Thanksgiving I went, and I did not buy a turkey, I bought siding. And Thanksgiving Day we had a rainy morning, which was nice because we actually gave us an excuse to stay in the house and have a nice breakfast and watch some Thanksgiving favorite movies and just be quiet together. It was really nice. And then it cleared up a little bit, enough for me to come out and do this. So that was a really nice day on Thursday. Today is Saturday, and the 24th of November. And here we are. There's some spare siding. I don't know. I'll find a use for that somewhere, probably on the house or some other structure. It's a popular spot for the kitties so far. There may actually be a kitty in there now. I thought I saw Zoe go in. They seem to think I built them a weather shelter. But, oh, yeah. Look at her. So funny. Zoe thinks it's her house. Is this your house? Do you love it? What do you think? Oh. She thinks I should pet her. That's what she thinks. So yeah, there's the inside. There'll be, right about at the bottom of the doors there'll be a platform. And that's where the duck nesting platform will be. They can get up there off of the wet ground. Hi, is this your house? Yeah. So it's good space in here. It's a little bit of upper ventilation, aka poor build quality. But it's also necessary to have that ventilation. Look at her. You love this house, huh? Well, don't get too comfy. These cats. So funny. Look at her. She loves to roll around. What are you doing, Susie? Whew. You guys are going to make the ducks scared to come in here because it'll smell like cats. Yeah. The ducks we're getting are not baby ducks. They're grown-up ducks because that's easier to really just sort of plug and play ducks rather than trying to take care of baby ducks. And those ducks have been around cats and things, and so they won't be afraid of these cats. They'll be probably fairly comfortable running these cats off. So I'm not too concerned about that. But this is hilarious. Honey, come and look in here. Anyway, little flower bed here. I'm going to plant some nasturtiums. There's going to be a little lattice along the bottom of here with some edibles for the ducks and decorative for me. The framing around the windows will be done with some of the smaller pieces of this mango wood. And I might try to create maybe a little pergola over the door framing there, just because I think that'd be adorable, but we'll see. Decorative things tend to fall by the wayside when we get busy. We've got a source for barrels. Rain barrels are ridiculously hard to come by here. The catchment company that we bought our catchment from, although they're in the water business, they don't sell rain barrels. You can get them at Home Depot, but they're over $100, which doesn't make sense to me for a barrel. But the dairy, they sell barrels once a week. Food grade, reasonable quality for water, food safe, which is important, obviously, since we're going to be watering the ducks with this water, not just the pond, but also because they will be drinking the pond, because that's what ducks do. So I can get some food grade barrels for a reasonable price from the dairy. I'm going to try to figure out how to pull that off in the next week or two. They only sell them once a week. But today, there's a guy over there somewhere. I think he's over there. He opened up the whole van. Anyway, today we're going to go get a Christmas tree. Woohoo! I love Christmas. So we're going to get a potted tree. They're not as big as regular Christmas trees because they're in a pot. Got to be able to carry them. But we have a little house, so that's perfect. A little tree for our little house. And then ultimately, we'll plant it. This first tree, I know I had talked about putting a lemon tree here. We've got a lemon tree already in the backyard in a pot. But that lemon tree is going to get planted somewhere else because the Christmas tree will get planted here after we're done with it for the Christmas season. Because then it'll be in the middle of the yard. When we get the main house built there, and we're looking out and this is our view from the front porch, we can light up that Christmas tree and it'll be our first Christmas tree from the island. We can remember it every year and watch it grow. Remaining years, they can get planted up there on Christmas Tree Hill. That'll be fine. But the first one will go here. We've had a few garden-oriented developments. So the Christmas tree will go here. I have an avocado that I bought, a huge butter avocado. They're called butter avocados. They're gigantic. They're like half the size of your face. That grow here from a farmer's market when Sadie and Kevin were here. Avocado, and I put the seed in a cup with some toothpicks in the hopes that it would grow. I've done that many times and they never do. It grew. It's like 4 inches tall now. So soon I have to put it in a pot. And then when we're at the place where we're going to get the ducks, they have an avocado orchard. So I got to really see what avocado trees look like. And they're beautiful, robust looking trees with big trunks, beautiful dark green leafy leaves. I think it's going to get planted when it's hardy enough to do so over here, because that will create beautiful shade in the afternoon in the hottest part of the summer. The sun comes from here, and those poor duckies and that pond will need some shade. I think the avocado tree will go there. We also learned while at that avocado farm how well banana trees will grow. They had the most beautiful little group of banana trees that apparently just grew on their own out of their compost pile because they'd tossed some locally grown banana peels in their compost. So this section here, I think, would be a logical spot for a compost pile. So the reason is that all of the product coming off of the floor of that duck house can be composted. And scooping it right over here into a bin or a bed would be a logical thing to do and easy. And I'll throw some banana peels in there and eventually it will become a banana patch that will provide beautiful shade for the duck house. I don't know what's going on with my phone. The video is freaking out. Sorry if it's jittery. Okay, progress for the day. Got screen on this window and that window. Doesn't look great, but it's going to get trimmed. So I'm not worried about that right now. But the bigger development is over on this side. I'll make my way over here. We have doors, functioning doors, with a latch and a handle. Oh, and some painter's tape on the roof. Get rid of that. So, latches, as we know from installing the latch on the shed, are tricky to put on. And this one is a new kind for me to install. But both doors open and swing beautifully. They don't move on their own. There's that one closed. And here's this one closed. The latch grabs on. It has a lock in it. Here, if I want to prevent people from being able to open it, I'll probably have to do something to keep them from wanting to swing, because this type of latch does have some give. And that's a bit of a gap, so I'll have to think of something to prevent that, because the ducks are likely to push on it from the inside, which I hadn't really thought about, so I'll come up with something. But yeah, it's done. Sorry. There's a lot of flies today. I don't know what the deal is. But yeah, the doors, they are done. And I'm happy about that. Didn't work very much today. We went and got the Christmas tree, which I will not yet show you. But we don't have a pot to put it in that will keep it from draining water into the house. So it's currently living on the front porch until we can go get a pot, which is the next thing on our agenda for today. I am not unhappy with how the duck house is coming along. Considering I'm clueless, had nothing but a sketch on a piece of scrap paper at work that I did on my lunch. I think it looks okay for a duck house. And it's not an eyesore, because this is the first thing right now. Back of this is the first thing you see when you come up the driveway. You come up the driveway and you see the duck house. And so I didn't want it to be a massive eyesore. I might just put a piece of wood, like a swivel. I don't know. We'll see. It's something to hold them from trying to swing open, but it worked out. The siding doesn't look too bad. Installed in a horizontal way, which is what I did. The faux beam board pattern. I don't know how to say that, is in reasonable alignment. which I actually didn't think about at all when I was cutting the wood, and so that was just lucky. Yeah, it gets all painted up, and obviously there, like I said earlier, there are still more pieces to put on, still more wood to be had for that purpose. But getting the doors functioning was my goal for the day, and that is done. And now we've got a pot to get for our Christmas tree and a Christmas parade, a light up Christmas parade to go to tonight. So time to wrap it up. Time to go do Christmas. Bye.